Hi and welcome back to X-Wing Sweden, and today we are taking a look at the top 8 game from the regional in Linköping. And as in the previous two games, you have Jonas on the left here. He was undefeated in Swiss, going 6-0, and he's still flying Captain Nim with VI, bomblet generator, guidance chips, harpoon missile, and auto blaster turret. He also has the Ray crew, which is missing in the overlay. And alongside him, he's got Wedge with adaptability, BB-8, plasma torps and guidance chips, and Aaron Kraken, VI, harpoon missile and guidance chips for a really nasty alpha strike. And on the right, we have Archibald, and he is flying triple defenders here. I think Archibald has been flying this for over about a year now, since the last regional season. So he's flying Vessery with Crackshot and TIE X7, and two Glaive Squadrons with Crackshot and TIE X7. So they're all pilot skill 6, very easy for maneuvering, and they hit pretty hard, and they are very tanky when they get both the focus and the weight. So these are ships that can actually tank probably 2 of the missiles, and probably take out Kraken or Wedge pretty easily. And if Archibald just flies a bit better than Jonas, or gets a slightly better engagement here, I think this could be in the defender's favor. This is one matchup I think Jonas doesn't really like. So Archibald has been setting up one glaive up the top there, and he's now turning away with it, trying to draw the rebels quickly towards him. And then he's flanking with the blue one, which is Vessery, and the other glaive down at the center of the board. And he is just doing a one bank here, trying to keep range for this round. I think he's assuming Jonas is going to move slowly with his rebels, not trying to overcommit in case the defenders are not closing that quick, or he's expecting the 3 move to get the evade to have range. He barrel rolls away for even more distance there, and this means that the small rock there is going to be pretty in the way for Jonas if he tries to turn all of his ships in towards the center of the board. And the bottom glaive is just going up there, positioning nicely for a hard turn 3 if he wants next turn. And it looks like the rebels did maybe a 1 or a 2 straight. It's hard to see up there in the darkness. We've seen Jonas fly here before, and we've seen that he likes to go slow and steady here with the rebels, the 1 straight to victory. Yeah, I think those are just 1 straights with the entire list. And this now means that Archibald has these 2 center defenders here in a very good spot for next turn, because Vessery can go forward and barrel roll, and the other one can hard turn 3 and barrel roll, and Jonas might not have missile strikes open to him, unless he decides to hard turn 2 with Wedge and Kraken and just send Nim forward. And then he will only have 2 torpedoes shooting, or 2 missiles shooting, and I think one of these defenders could tank that. One will hardly do any damage, and then the other one will maybe do a bit, especially if they trigger the harpoon condition, but they just might not, because getting 4 evades isn't impossible when you're tokened up as a defender. So the first glaive moved up and actually took a target lock for Vessery here. And then Vessery is just going really fast straight there, just in front of the rock, and I am expecting a barrel roll to the left here to get out of arc in case the rebels bank in. I mean, the thing is, 2 hard turns from the X-Wing and the Z95 might be bad for Archie here. But at the same time, who knows? Jonas hasn't been doing that kind of maneuvers, so now he's probably 3-2 and 1 banking in here with his entire squad. So that means this guy, this is Kraken, might be Wedge. Hard to tell if it's a C95 or an X-Wing. He might have range, but that should be maybe obstructed as well on that back defender. Oh, he decides to target lock Vessery for the future instead. Which means Archie might get a few shots off here for free. And here's the next one. I think this is Kraken. They're all Pascal 10, so you know Jonas could just move them up in any order. And if he gets to shoot into Nim with two of his defenders, Archie is probably pretty happy here because Nim has, you know, all the drawbacks of being an agility 1 ship without the regen that Miranda has. So that's another target lock. And now we have one bank, maybe a 2 bank. I think it was a 1. Tricky to see the exact distance move there in the shadows. And he decides to target lock Vessery as well, and he might have a shot here, and Vessery might have a shot back at him. And then he takes one of the focus tokens from Ray at the start of the combat. Okay, so let's see if he can put a dent into these defenders, or if Archie's moves have given him the upper hand. That's going to be out of range. So I don't think either of the Z95 or the X-Wing has any shots. So the question is, of course, now can Vessery and the Glaive at the center shoot at Nim? If he can, that's going to be pretty good for Archie. And even if it's range 1, I mean, you might get hit by 2 from the auto blaster. But I don't think Vessery is going to be overly concerned, because he's been shooting 4 red dice back at the agility 1 ship. So yeah, it looks like using the focus for 2, which means there are 2 shields gone from Vessery. But now we have first Vessery with his ability, and then the other Glaive has target lock as well. And we are measuring. So it might be slightly longer when you measure within arc and not out of arc as you do with the auto blaster. We'll see here. No, it was range 2. And there's still 3 hits. And if there is an evade now, there is crack shots as well on Vessery here. Looks like a focus of 3 shields. And if you can get 3 more from the Glaive Squadron, Nim is in a very bad spot because he could potentially die if he gets focused down once more here. And then Jonas will have to play him more conservatively. And it will be tricky for the rebels to set up their missile strikes now. And that's another 3 hits, which should mean that it's 3 more hits, because if it's an evade he could always crack. But it looks like another focus. Okay, it's range 3, but it didn't do any difference. So 1 damage has gone through on him already. This is probably just the perfect opening Archie was really hoping for here. You know, staying out of the missile strike range in the first engagement and out of arc. And this is a K-turn, I assume. The question is he in bomblet range? And you just might have to barrel roll here. He will get his evade from the X7 because it was a quick move, faster than 2. If you don't barrel roll, you might eat a bomblet here, but yeah, he is barrel rolling way back, just setting up best options for next turn with 3 banks. And that small rock that just messed everything up for Jonas is still in the way for him turning into the board. So there's a 5 straight, getting behind the rock, trying to get 4 dice and fully tokened up, I assume here. I don't think he's in range for target lock, and I don't think barrel rolling is a good call here because you don't know how fast the rebels are going. So yeah, you token up behind a rock. That means 4 green dice with 2 tokens. Should be plenty of evades there. Well, statistically. You never know with dice. Here's a 3 bank. Now this move, I'm not so sure of what you do now. I mean, you can't really block. And you have to barrel all the way, I guess. You might eat a bomblet here as well with this guy. I assume he's thinking of what to do besides getting the free evade. Yeah, I think take the evade. Barrel to the left. I don't think you're going to be in the way for Vessery next turn, or you could potentially 4K past Vessery first next turn. Okay, I think he's decided here. He takes the evade. And then he might be considering taking a target lock here. No, he decided to barrel, it looks like, yeah, just to make sure he's out of bomblet range. Yeah, you don't want to be in the way of Vessery, and you don't want to have Vessery blocking your 4K for next turn. It's tricky here with the camera angle. I think you need to go as far forward as possible if you want to make sure you clear with the 4K. Or maybe a bit back, but you know, it also depends on the range for the bomblet, which is hard for us to see here on the camera. So there's a barrel as well. Okay. Okay, so now it's up to the rebels if they're just banking in for the guy at the center. I mean, I don't see. He could hard turn with the back one, but I don't see the other ones getting any shots on Vessery here. Nim is getting out of dodge. You know, he has 4 hit points left. He can't risk taking any more shots if possible, so he's going to try to get out of arc and set up auto blaster range. I think that defender is safe. That should be out of range 1. And let's see here, what do we do? He's got BB-8 on wedge, but it requires a green move, so none of the turns are green here. So now he's just moving up this Kraken. He might have a range 3 through the rock. Well, the range 3 doesn't matter if you do the missile strike, but yeah, he's going to switch the target here, because I think this defender will just, you know, ignore 1 missile more or less here, unless you get really unlucky. And he has chips and a reroll for the homing missile, or the harpoon keeps the target lock, but there's no focus, so he might not get all 4. There is a BB-8 move here, so I assume he's doing a green 1 bank here, maybe a 1 straight. No, it's a straight, so wedge is way more dangerous due to his ability to reduce one of those green dice of the defenders. So you're pretty scared even if you're a defender. Okay, he's gonna switch target lock, and he said please make sure you have range, and he just had that. But at least that rock gives the defender back the green die that wedge takes away. Now he's going to shoot with Kraken first, because Kraken's ability will then give a focus to wedge, since wedge's torpedo doesn't keep the target low. But you would prefer to shoot with the plasmas first. But I think you need to do Kraken first, just to make sure wedge's plasma torp is more accurate. We shall see who he decides to use here. So I think it's Kraken, since he didn't remove the target lock. And he's now, yeah, it's Kraken shooting here, so 1. And you know, if this one isn't super difficult here, no, chips for 3, so yeah. And he has 3 blanks on the green one, so that's 1, 2. wedge shoots. Yeah, so if only one goes in now, I think all the shields will be gone. But I think it took 2 shields on the initial shot, so it doesn't really matter. If he's hit, the shields are gone. And that looks pretty okay, because you do get the focus from Kraken's ability. And he's going to flip, so 2 goes in. Yeah, 2 shields. And then you get another one from the harpoon, because there's a crit from guidance chips, so that the glaive is now down to 2 hit points. But I think this is an okay exchange, because Nim is also very injured here. There is no, and there's only one missile left, and that is on Nim, and Nim is not going to be happy shooting his missiles, going straight for those defenders now. Especially if Archie can move the injured one away. So we'll see here. This guy is probably doing a 4K. Yeah. Wedge is the dangerous one now, only as Kraken can't really do much except provide the tokens, which of course is also very useful, but we have a 3 hard here, so he decided not to gamble on a 4K in case it clipped Vessery. So he's setting up, chasing the X-Wing and the Z95 there, and puts the target lock down. And then we probably have a 3 bank here. Yeah, 3 left bank on Vessery, which means he's could potentially have a very good shot at Kraken using the target lock provided by the glaive. Okay, now all Archie can do is wait and see what the X-Wings, what the X-Wing, Z95 and the Skurg has done here. So I assume he's going to drop a bomblet here, but I don't think that's going to be range. No, I think Vessery is out of range 1 there. The question is, he might catch one of his own ships. But it is Rebel Nim, so he can make sure it doesn't go off this turn. So it could be a nice deterrent, making sure those defenders, or at least the Vessery defender, will have some trouble. Well, I guess a 5 straight and a barrel will get you out of, or maybe a 3 hard I mean, and a barrel next turn if you just want to avoid the bomb. Yeah, and he barrels out. He wants to keep Arco out of range with Nim here. And let's see. He could, barrel to the left, doing a 1 bank with wedge. I think he will still be within arc of Vessery. But the question is, what do you do with this guy? Because he doesn't want to take shots. Okay, he decides, I don't care about that bomb, because my friend is going to make sure it doesn't go off. And he might have arc on Vessery, I don't know. But Vessery certainly can shoot him. And I guess he's thinking about BB-8 here. I mean, if he isn't hard turning, I don't think he will have a shot this turn. Yeah, I'm not really sure what he's... Okay, so it did he did do just a one bank. That means Wedge does not have a shot this turn. And he's also within the bomb range, so there's no way units will set off the bomb here. So, start of combat. Okay, they're debating about something. Okay, so Kraken is going to shoot. If he can reach this guy over here. And if he can, that's bad because that means it can shoot back and there will be two defenders shooting Kraken. So he's got an eye there and a hit, I believe. So he's going to keep his one, which means there's not been any damage on this defender. Ooh, the green dice haven't been very nice to him. But he did get one evade. And now he can give sorry, a free action to Wedge, who decides to target Lock Vessery for the future. And Wedge has no shot. So now it's the defender's turn here. So the glaive shoots range 300 on Kraken. That looks like 3 hits. And that looks pretty good as well because he does have the focus. So it looks like no damage going through. And then we have Vessery. Yeah, he gets his target lock from his ability. And then he uses his focus token. Yeah, it's just 3 dice, it's range 2. And those looks like shields gone on Kraken. And 1 damage going through as well. No, he died. So I assume it was a crit. And a direct hit there. So that was a bit lucky for Archie, even though it was a nice evade roll on the previous attack. So now it's Wedge and Nim versus 3 defenders. And 1 defender has 2 hit points left. I think the Vessery has only 2 hit points left. And this other defender here has no shields. But the red one that we can hardly see at the top is untouched. And Nim is at 4 hit points. So 1 good round of shooting on Nim here. And this should be in Archie's favor. Or you just, focus down Wedge and make sure units just have to be careful here with Nim. Not providing that much backup. Of course, he needs to stay away from that bomblet. So this is a 4K, or maybe he's just going to say, I don't care. But you have to be careful here so you don't get caught on by 2 bomblets, because Nim can drop a new one. And then both can go off if you're just, within range of both of them. So I guess you have to barrel roll to the right here. Get out of arc, or get out of bombing range. That's going to be barely, but I think it takes him out. The barrel is a 1, and then his base is a 1, and then you need another half base, and since you're doing it diagonally, or he decides, I don't care. Okay. He's assuming Wedge is going for this red guy, maybe. And the red guy is just screaming forward, trying to catch Nim. But I mean, if Nim does a hard turn into the table here, yeah, exactly, you need to barrel. That's a good move, I believe. I mean, the only thing Nim could do now is just going for straight. And then you will have a range 1 out of blaster, out of arc. So if Jonas caught that, that's a good move on his part. We'll see. I mean, of course, you could just bump into the defender with the 2 hard here, I think. And if it doesn't bump, you're in a bad spot. So the other defender is just behind Wedge there, and Wedge decides to BB-8 here, which means he can barrel and then just do a green move. Ooh, that looks like a bad idea. That means you will still in range of the bomb. Okay, it looks like it just worked, but now you're going to do a green move. So I guess the K-turn from Vesser there was probably a very good call. I mean, Wedge can't risk, losing both his shields to the bomb here. He has no integrated as well, so it's only a 5 hit point X-Wing. And I don't think that takes him out of arc of Vessery. It might. Okay, we'll see here what... Yeah, he did the hard 2, and I think this will put him just in front without the option to barrel out of arc. He might do damage, but I don't think 2 hit points will kill this guy. So that means he'll be taking a range 1 shot back. It's going to be unmodded, but... I also think all the crack shots are unspent. Maybe. Oh, of course, no, that's why Kraken died, due to crack shot, yeah. Haha. Finally caught up on that. And that means this guy has most likely spent his crack shot. So it looks like it was a bump. I don't know who's more or less happy about that. If he was far up ahead, he could have barreled to the right to get out of arc. It doesn't really matter. But if he couldn't, then Archibald wouldn't have wanted this bump. And then we're onto the shooting here. I don't think there's range 3 from the top defender there at the center of the planet. If it can reach him, maybe. But I guess you just pick in the focus token from Ray just in case. You can always get it back. Oh, he's detonating the bomb. That was brave. And looks like 1 hit on Vessery, and 1 back on Wedge, so that's 1-1. Okay, so it's start of combat here, and yeah, here's the focus from Ray. Just making sure in case he's in range. So Vessery is gonna shoot into the back of Wedge here. And that looks like he needs to spend the target lock he gets. And then focus for 2 hits and a crit, I believe. Okay, so let's see if Wedge can do some dodging here. So like 1, I believe. No, everything went in there. Because he crack shotted that one, yes. And he is now pilot skill 0. Okay, so quick shot spent on Vessery. And then I don't think there were any other shots, so Ray gets the focus back. Well, that's a big one for Archie here, because pilot skill 0 wedge means which is one more hit point, and he can now be pilot skill killed. So crack shot proving very useful there. So we have a 4K from the now pilot skill 0'd wedge, hoping to get a shot off here. So Westerby is probably hard 3ing, the other guy 3 blanking, the red guy down here at the center is probably 4K'ing, barreling away from a bomblet. And then we have Nim, who is, I would say, either a quick straight move to get into range 1 to shoot Vessery. I think Vessery is at 3 hit points, so I don't think the Auto Blaster can kill him. But at least you're going to do some damage. But then you're going to put Nim right in front of 2 defenders here as well. But then he's not shooting Wedge, if he's shooting Nim, and then Wedge gets to shoot with his ability at least once more. Tricky. Well, I think Archie's goal for this turn is to just erase Wedge, no matter what Nim does. Nim has 4 hit points, I believe, so if both defenders potentially could shoot Nim, it might be a tempting target, but then Wedge might erase. I mean, if Nim gets to shoot Vessery first, and then Wedge also gets to shoot Vessery, Vessery will die. And then it's all about how much damage you actually did to Nim, if you took him off the board or not, because if you do, I think it's worth it, because then you will have pilot skill 0 Wedge versus 2 defenders. But if you're not sure you can take Nim off, I guess you don't. I guess you go for Wedge. Well, here's the 4 straight, as anticipated here. Getting a range 1 shot with Auto Blaster on Vessery, which means Vessery might be down to 1 hit point. I think he has target lock on the other defender though. I think it is Wedge that has a target lock on Vessery. So he's thinking, I mean, he could take the focus and bank it for 2 on Ray if he doesn't need it, or he could switch target locks. He decides to focus. And then let's go to the shooting phase. So I guess you pick up the second Ray as well, because in case the defenders go for Nim, you have modifiers on both defense rolls. Yeah, I guess that's what he wants, why he took the focus as well. Okay. Yeah, so Nim has target lock on the red defender there, which means... So he's going to shoot Vessery with the Auto Blaster, using the focus for 2 hits. So I guess that means Vessery is down to 1. Yeah, Norchi says here like he'd really like to do 2 attacks into Nim, but then Wedge gets to shoot, and Vessery can't take that. It's a tricky call. If you kill Nim, you're still gonna win because Wedge is particle 0. If you kill Wedge, you still have 3 defenders next turn. 1 could still be particle killed. I mean, Wedge is gonna die here. He has no tokens. Vessery with his ability and a focus will do 3 damage more or less, unless you roll really bad. But if you shoot at Nim, you get blank. You could blank on both. You get 4 blanks here and not kill him. Yeah, so Vessery is going to shoot Wedge, and this should finish off the X-wing. I think this is the safe play here by Archie. Yeah, 3 damage, which means Wedge is dead here. So they're just rolling to see how many damage cards is going to get taken. I think looks like 2 eyes, and Wedge is off the board. And then he also has an attack from this glaive here, which should put Nim at 1 or 2 hit points left. Yeah, 3 hits. This can't kill him, but yeah, 3 damage, which means Nim is now at 1 hit point. And now Jonas needs to fly him perfectly. You know, try to get out of arc and utilize the auto blaster. And I think, you know, you could probably be able to kill Vesper this turn. So the glaive up there is 4K'ing, trying to get back into the fight as soon as possible. Because you really want 2 defenders here shooting them, so no matter where you barrel, at least one should have you in arc. So I guess this is trying to set up a block. I think I would have 4K'd. I mean, Nim can go straight, and then there's a bump, or he can hard 2 away, and then that's a bump. So it's just a gamble on which one you think you do. But if you do the 4K, at least you get tokens. You never know, with the auto blaster, he might roll crits. He has 1 focus banked, but he wants to switch target lock to Vessery. So it's gonna eat a bomblet. And so if the bomblet does 2 damage and he takes Vessery off the board here. Okay, that's a good move. And probably a barrel to Nim's left. You can hopefully get out of arc of the glaive. And then yeah, well, you're gonna get in range of your own bomb, but then you just hold the bomb. So yeah, barrel back if it takes you out of arc. Hard to see in this angle. But yeah, I think that's what he's doing. Barreling, and he's going to try to maintain range 1 on Vessery without being shot at by the glaive. And I think he's got it. Yeah, so we're into the start of combat here, and he's going to take the focus from Ray. And now he's going to do the auto blaster. Yes, just make sure it's range 1, but I think it should be. Yep, looks good. He has target lock. No, he doesn't have target lock. He's got target lock on the other guy. So he's just got the focus. But I think that was just 1, and that's all that it took. And no shots from the defenders. We're back to dials. The focus goes back to Ray. So now Archie needs the defender up in the right corner there to just join the fight as quickly as possible and not take too much damage on the other one, because the other one is undamaged as far as I remember. And I think they both have spent their crack shots. So, but I mean, Dim only has one hole left, so all you need is one okay shot, and Nim should die. But as long as it's just one defender chasing Nim, Nim should be able to stay out of arc. Okay, there's the 4K, that takes him out of bomblet range. Yeah, okay, he's also doing the barrel, hoping for a bump. I mean, you want to just keep this guy at full health for as long as possible. So if Nim is hard turning to you there, he might bump him, or if he just doesn't bump, he can just barrel out of arc. Okay, he is dropping a bomblet, just because he can, and then he can decide which one to keep. And it looks like a hard 2. So now will he bump, or will it fit? It looks like it fit. And then there's the barrel to take him out of arc, and he has target lock on this guy. So he could, oh, and there is an evade, so I guess auto blaster is the better choice. Even 4 dice versus 3 target lock and an evade, yeah, could be either way. I think you want a barrel to set up a better move next turn, because if you stay here, I don't think there's a hard turn to the right next turn, because I think it'll put you on that little rock. But if you barrel down here towards the bottom of the screen, there should be room for a hard 2 for Nim next turn. I mean, you want to stay close, so it's easier to barrel out of the arcs of the defenders. And the 4K from that glaive is eating a bomb next turn. No matter which bomb that is kept in the play. So yeah, here is a barrel, and I think back as far as possible here to make sure your hard turn or a 1 bank barrel works next turn. Yeah. And he does have one focus token banked on Ray. So we're going to go to the start of combat, and he decides to blow that bomb up. Okay, the other one is scary for the other one defender as well, so maybe it's a better one to keep. And then he brings in the focus. Auto blaster. Looks like one. So I don't know, I think he took two. And we're back to dials. And he's probably, he's banking the focus again. Okay, so this guy here, this is a tricky one. I'm not really sure what the best move here is. And hard 3, which means he's probably eating a bomblet. He needs to barrel into the old bomb to avoid the new bomb. I guess, yeah, or he said that's a bad one. Yeah, maybe a 3 bang. I don't think he could have, I mean, he would have gone to the left to avoid both bombs here, but Nim is probably doing a hard 2 to the right, which means he would be eating either an auto blaster or a primary from Nim anyway. And if he stays here, he might not take the one at the center. And then Nim would do a hard 2 barrel in to have auto blaster range. And then you can't pop the new bomb if he drops one here. But if he stays, he might not barrel. He just might take target lock for the future. But I mean, this defender is not that damaged. Well, yeah, it should be now. It should be down to 1 shield. So yeah, I guess. Yeah, Archie decides to just eat 1 bomblet, the one in the center. The other defender has got to do a 3 bank and then barrel to its left to avoid the bomblet. Yeah, here it is. It's either a slow move or this one. But now the defenders have joined forces, which means unless the red guy here takes 2 from the bomb and 2 from auto blaster. Well, if it does, it dies, and then I think Jonas can pull this off. But if it lives, I think Nim is going to die next turn unless he runs for it. And even if he runs for it, the defenders will catch up, and one of them will get a good shot off. So if he can do 4 damage with the bomblet and the auto blaster here, Jonas might still have a shot here. Yeah, you have to barrel in, take the auto blaster shot, keep the other bomb for next turn, and pop the one in the center. Oh, that might not be range 1 though. And if that's not range 1, Nim is pretty sad, because that means the defender now, that one is safe, but the other one gets hit. Let's see how much. If he gets 2, he could be pile skilled by Nim. Looks like he took 1. I think Nim has no good options now. I mean, maybe you just run. Let's see if this is in. It's going to be close, but I think it's out. Yeah, it's out. So yeah, Jonas just said that, but in Swedish. Ouch, ouch. Not good. So we have a 4K here. And do we have a hard 3 or maybe a bank barrel of the other guy? Because if you could just catch a net here, I mean, if you do the hard 3, I don't see how Nim can get away. Oh, he's doing just 1 and probably followed by a barrel here. I mean, this guy has 3 hit points left, maybe? Or maybe just 2? I don't remember. I mean, as long as he gets to shoot with one of them, he should be good here. Especially the one down here who has a target lock. And he is trying to stay close. So you could barrel up towards the center. Maybe get out of range. Or out of arc. But don't know if you will. And I don't think it will take you out of range from the other guy. No, he decides to take a target lock, trying to kill that defender. And then he takes the focus from right. And bomb stays put. Yeah, he's using the auto blaster, so I assume it has only 2 hit points. And I guess it's 1, and then he gets spends the target lock. And looks like 1 more. So I think this one is dead. He's not rolling any dice, so and then they're measuring range from the other guy. Yeah, range it's dead. Let's see if you can kill him. 2 and a reroll. And if he gets the 3rd one, it's good. Yeah, that's game. Good game, guys. Very intense, very close, very fun to watch. Stay tuned. More games are coming up here, the semi-final and then the final. Thank you for watching.